In the grand city of Vaishali, there lived a merchant named Dhanava, whose wealth was known far and wide. His warehouses overflowed with silk, spices, and gold. He had a fleet of caravans and 100 servants to attend to his every need. But despite his riches, Dhanava was never satisfied. He sought more land, more trade, and more gold, believing that only limitless wealth could bring him happiness. One day, as he walked through the bustling streets, he noticed a beggar sitting under the shade of a banyan tree. Unlike most beggars, this one was smiling, his face calm and serene despite his ragged robes. Curious and slightly irritated, Dhanava stopped before him. "Why do you smile?" the merchant demanded. "You have nothing, and yet you look as if you possess the riches of a king." The beggar, who was none other than a disciple of the Buddha, opened his eyes and replied, "I smile because I am free." Dhanava frowned. "Free? You are a beggar. You own nothing. How can you be free?" The beggar chuckled. "It is you, great merchant, who is not free. You are bound by your wealth, your desires, and your fears of loss. Tell me, do you sleep peacefully at night?" Dhanava hesitated. He often lay awake, worried about thieves, scheming rivals, and the rise and fall of the markets. "Come with me," the beggar said. "Let us visit the Buddha. He speaks of things greater than gold and land." Dhanava, though skeptical, was intrigued. He had heard of the Buddha, the Enlightened One, whose words could unravel the mysteries of suffering and joy. Perhaps he could learn the secret of the beggar's peace. The two made their way to the monastery, where the Buddha sat beneath a tree, surrounded by monks and villagers. As they approached, the Buddha looked at Dhanava with kind, knowing eyes. "Why do the poor remain poor and the rich grow richer?" Dhanava asked, his voice filled with both curiosity and frustration. "Is it fate, or is there some unseen force at play?" The Buddha smiled gently. "Tell me, Dhanava, when a farmer sows seeds, does he not reap according to what he plants? If he sows weeds, will he not harvest suffering? If he plants rice, will he not gather grain?" Dhanava nodded. "That is the law of nature. And so it is with life," the Buddha continued. "Some are born into wealth and some into poverty based on past actions. But karma is not fate. It is a stream that can be redirected. A man who hoards wealth and neglects virtue will suffer in ways unseen. A poor man who cultivates kindness and wisdom may one day rise beyond his circumstances. The suffering of the poor is not always because of laziness or fate, but the result of past deeds and present choices." Dhanava pondered these words. He had always believed that wealth was a sign of superiority, that the poor simply lacked the will to rise. Yet looking at the peaceful beggar and the serene monks, he felt a strange emptiness in his own soul. "But what of me, Blessed One?" Dhanava asked. "I have spent my life chasing gold. Is there hope for me?" The Buddha gazed at him with compassion. "A man lost in the desert can always turn toward the river. It is never too late to walk the path of wisdom. Use your wealth to help others, to ease suffering, and to spread kindness. In doing so, you will find greater riches than gold can offer." For the first time in his life, Dhanava felt the burden of his greed lifting. He bowed before the Buddha, tears in his eyes, and resolved to change his ways. From that day forth, he used his wealth to build wells, feed the hungry, and support those in need. And in giving, he finally found the peace that had eluded him for so long. As for the beggar, he simply smiled, knowing that another soul had been freed from the chains of desire.